The rain wasn't falling straight. It was slicing through the air at an angle, sharp, cold, relentless, like it had somewhere to be and I was in its way. I was standing barefoot in the driveway. Not knocking, not shouting, not even moving, just standing. Behind me, the house glowed warm through the windows. Yellow lights spilling out like nothing was wrong, like everything inside was safe. Normal inside, my stepfather was sealing the windows with plastic and duct tape. My mother handed him each strip before he even asked. They moved in sync. Quiet, efficient, like this storm mattered. Like I didn't, the emergency siren had already gone off 3 times in the last hour. Hurricane Helena, Category 4, 3 hours out, and I was locked outside. I didn't scream, didn't bang on the door. Because something inside me already understood, this wasn't an accident, this wasn't panic. This was a decision, a quiet one, a final one. Then headlights turned onto our street. Slow, smooth. Expensive, a black SUV. Not the kind of car that just ends up in neighborhoods like ours. It rolled forward carefully, like it already knew exactly where it was going. It stopped at the edge of the driveway. The engine stayed running. The rear door opened. The woman who stepped out didn't rush, didn't hesitate, didn't shield her face from the rain. She stood there like the storm didn't apply to her. Silver hair pinned neatly, straight posture, steady eyes. She looked at me, then at the house, at the taped windows, the sealed door. The lights still on, at the people inside who never came out. Then she said one word, enough, and something inside me shifted. I was 12 when Marcus moved in. The sky that day was too clear, too blue, like someone had painted it just to make everything feel normal. My father had been gone for 14 months. I kept count back then. Not because anyone asked me to, but because no one else did. The house still smelled like him in the mornings. Wood, oil. That cheap aftershave he always bought in bulk because it was good enough. He used to say, if it works, you don't replace it. Marcus didn't knock when he first walked in. He carried a toolbox through the front door like he had always lived there, like we had been waiting for him. My mother smiled, really smiled, the kind that reached her eyes. I hadn't seen that smile since before the funeral, and I remember thinking I should be happy. This is what moving on looks like, right? He said he was going to fix the fence. It leaned slightly to the side, something my father had been meaning to fix. Marcus worked all afternoon, measured twice, dug deep, set concrete. He worked like a man trying to prove something. By evening, the fence stood straight again, stronger than before. Perfect. Then he opened a paint can, white. The fence had been blue, harbor blue. My father chose it himself. He said every house needed one thing that made it different. That color was ours. I watched Marcus paint over it, stroke by stroke, covering it completely, like it had never existed. I didn't say anything. I finished my juice, washed the glass, put it away. That was the first day. Marcus never yelled. That's what made it harder to explain. He didn't slam doors. Didn't throw things, didn't hit. He just adjusted things, slowly, quietly. Photos of my father disappeared one by one, not all at once. One frame gone on a Tuesday, another on a Thursday. By winter, there was nothing left. The house changed shape without moving. The phone number changed. He said it was for spam calls. My grandmother called the old number for weeks before she stopped. Marcus told me she didn't want to talk anymore. He said it like it was nothing, like it was normal, and I believed him because I was 12 and because he sounded certain. He opened every piece of mail. Every envelope went through him first. He read everything, decided what we were allowed to know. Back then, I didn't understand why. Later, I would. He chose my school. My friends, my schedule, my life, and my mother stood beside him. Not arguing, not agreeing, just there. When I asked why, she said the same thing every time. He just wants what's best, so I stopped asking. There was only one thing he never found, my father's watch, old, heavy, slightly cracked. The second hand ticked louder than it should have. I kept it hidden, wrapped in cloth, at the bottom of my drawer, and every morning I wound it because it was mine, and it kept going, no matter what changed. 16 years later, I stood outside that same house. Barefoot, soaked, locked out, the wind screamed through the street, trees bent, branches snapped, the rain hit harder now. Inside, the lights stayed on, the woman stepped closer. The driver came around with an umbrella, but he held it over me, not her. Get in, she said. I didn't ask who she was. Didn't ask why she was there, because deep down I already knew. The car was warm, quiet, still. She reached into her coat and handed me a handkerchief. It smelled like almond cake. And just like that, I remembered everything. I've been waiting, she said. 14 years, my throat tightened. My grandmother, she nodded. They told me you didn't want me. They told you what they needed you to believe. At the hotel, while the storm tore through everything outside, the truth finally came out. The house was never theirs, it was in a trust. My father made sure of it, it was always meant for me. My mother was allowed to live there, but she never owned it. Marcus had nothing, no claim. No right, and the insurance money, over $80,000 gone, taken, signed away without me ever knowing. The next morning, the storm was gone, but nothing felt the same. The streets were broken, trees down, power lines hanging, but the house was still standing. Of course it was. My father built it that way. The lawyer confirmed everything. They have no legal right to that property. Then he paused, and locking you outside during a Category 4 hurricane, he looked directly at me. That violates everything. For the first time in 16 years, I felt something shift, not anger, not fear, power. Marcus called 3 days later. Same voice, same control. Where are you? Safe, I said. You left, he said. You locked me out, I replied. Pause, that's not what happened. Of course it was, not in his version. You're overreacting, he said. I said one sentence. That house isn't yours. Silence, real silence this time, then cracks. I hung up. The notice arrived 2 days later, 14 days to leave, no negotiation, no confusion. Marcus went public, played the victim, told everyone his version. People believed him, some always do. I didn't respond because this time I didn't need to. My mother came to see me. If he leaves, I have nothing, she said, and that's when I understood. She had already chosen a long time ago. You had me, I said. She didn't answer because she couldn't. The hearing didn't take long. Truth doesn't need time. Marcus had nothing, no ownership, no rights, just years of control that didn't belong to him. Eviction upheld, 14 days confirmed. On the last day, I didn't stand in the yard. I stood across the street, watching. 16 years packed into boxes. Marcus didn't look at me, not once. My mother did. Your father would be proud, she said. Then she left, and just like that, they were gone. I bought the paint myself, Harbor Blue. I had to order it, worth it. Each stroke covered the white. Each stroke brought something back, board by board, memory by memory, truth by truth. By sunset, it was done. The fence stood blue again. The house was mine, it always was. Some people think this is revenge. It's not, it's truth. And the truth, who doesn't ask permission, it just comes back.